Hi students, welcome to our channel Physics Concepts by Ali sir. Today we are going to discuss about the one chapter from the PS, that is a heat. In this session we will discuss completely about the heat, definition of heat, then heat, characteristics of heat, that is the transformation of heat, why the heat is transferring, how the heat is transferring, till what extent the heat will transfer, and again the units of heat, each and everything about heat we will discuss. First of all, now let us see what is meant by heat. Heat is a form of energy that is a transit in nature. Transit in sense that transforms from one form to the another form or one body to the another body. So the heat is a transit in nature. Which body to what body, that heat will transfer. The heat will transfer from a hot body to the cold body. So how the heat will transfer, those are things by means of a small example. Now let us see. And first of all, now let us take one iron piece and one wooden piece. We will place those two in the fridge and over a period of time. Let us take the time is after 1 hour. Now let us take out those two, the blocks, the pieces what we have kept in the fridge, that is a iron piece and a wooden piece. Now when we touch that, how we will feel, those are things, why we are feeling the cool or the less cool or more cool, we will see that. And before that, once let us see, write the definition of heat. Heat is a form of energy. Form of energy that transit in a nature. That transit in a nature. Means now let us take more extensively. Heat transfers from hot body to cold body. How it will be? Now let us take one example, by means of one example. And let us take one iron piece. The second one is, now let us take a wooden piece. Okay, right, we have taken two pieces, iron piece and wooden piece, we kept in the fridge. After 1 hour, when we touch that, we will feel that iron, when we are, just when we touch the iron piece, that iron piece will feel very cool, right? It is very cool, we are feeling when we touch that. Whereas wood, relatively less cool. Means when we compare it with iron, then we are feeling less cool. What is the reason? A simple reason for that one. Why it is we are feeling comparatively, one is less cool, one is more cool we are feeling. The reason here is that iron is a good conductor. Good conductor in sense which can absorb heat energy as well as cool energy for long period of time. Even it emits also like that only. It quickly responds. But whereas we comparing with the metal, this wood piece, it is a less conductor, that is a bad conductor. Also we can say that is an insulator. So it absorbs a less amount of heat. So then we are not feeling that much cool. Now see, it is the iron is a good conductor. It is a good conductor, and so then what will happen? It can absorb large quantity of heat or large quantity of coolness it can. So as it has large quantity, that is when we are feeling, when we are just contact, then we are touching that, then that what will happen? Then we will feel very cool. And it is a bad conductor, or also we can say, okay, let's write bad conductor, also we can say insulator. And this is consisting of then it can its capability is very less to receive the coolness or hotness. That is why how much coolness it is having, very less coolness. Because of that reason, when we are touching that, then we will feel very less cool when comparing it with this one. Ultimately, what conclusion can we make is, then metal is a good conductor. It can hold large quantity of, it can receive large quantity of coolness. That is why it stores large quantity of heat. That's what the reason when we touch that we will feel cool. When wood is an insulator, whose capability is very less to receive the coolness. That is why it is having less capability to store the coolness. That is why we are not feeling that much cold when we comparing with the iron. Okay, right? Yes, I think that it's clear. And now let us see how the heat is transferring. Why the heat is transferring? Now let us see by means of a small illustration. Now let us take one YouTube. One YouTube in sense not a YouTube channel. This is a one U-shaped tube. Let's take a U-shaped tube. One U-shaped tube we have taken, and afterwards now let's place any one barricade here, one block. Now let's place any one block here, and now let's call this one is A side, this one is B side, and here the water level. Let's take water inside. So here the water level is till here, and these two have the water level B. So at present what will happen, that the water which is present in the A cannot travel to B. Okay, in such case then what that will be like that. And afterwards once if we remove this block, then what will happens, the heat will transfer, the water will transfer. Yes, the water will transfer from A side to B side. Why the water will transfer from A side to B side? The reason is very clear. That is, there is a difference in the water levels. Yes, it is A is having more water level, yes, and B is having less water level. So due to that reason, the water starts flowing from A to B. So here the water transfers from A level to B level because of the difference in the levels, isn't it? Even heat also like that only. The heat will transfer from a hot body to the cold body when there is a difference in the heat energy in between the two systems. If one system is having high energy, the later system or the neighboring system is having less energy, automatically the heat will transfer from the high energy to the low energy. Okay, and so imagine that this is a hot body and this is a cold body, and so the heat will transfer from a hot body to the cold body. Did you understand that? And so the heat transfers from where to where? Hot body to the cold body. What is the condition? There should be a condition. What is the condition? Excuse me. And the condition is there must be a difference between the two. There must be a difference between the two systems. Temperature difference should be there. There should be a temperature variation should be there. Temperature difference should be there. When there is a different temperature is there, difference is there in the temperature, one body is having high temperature, the second body is having less temperature, then the heat will be transferred. Do you understand that? How the heat will be transferred? So the heat will be transferred from the hot body to the cold body when there is a difference in between those two bodies. The temperature difference is there. Then only the heat can be transferred from the one body to the other body. Okay. If the heat is transferring like this, then why the heat is transferring? The simple reason we can take when according to the kinetic theory of matter, the molecules are randomly in the motion in the every state of matter, irrespective of its state of matter. It can be solid state, liquid state, gaseous state. The molecules are randomly in the motion, and this motion can be means they will move zigzag continuously, randomly they are moving the molecules. But once if any one system is having a lot of hotness is there, in that system the molecules starts vibrating more and more fast. Okay, and so once these two different systems, one is a high temperature, second one is low temperature, when they brought in the contact, then what will happen? The body, high temperature body consisting of more vibrating molecules, the more vibrating molecules will transfer into these low vibrating molecules. It's very pretty clear, right? It is very vibrating is more fast. That is why the molecules are transferred from here to here. So ultimately what will happen? The heat will transfer like this. Okay, right? And afterwards, now what are the effects? If the heat is, then you got it. What are the effects? So if heat is transferring from one body to the other body, that is a hot body to the cold body, then what are the effects? It's most important. From the point of view of the boards, it's very important. That is, if the heat is transferring, if any one system is, any one system, also we can say if a system or a body or any one object, if it is losing heat, then that system will become so cool. So here it's very important. When the system will become so cool, if the system is losing heat. When the system can lose heat, if it is having high temperature when we comparing with the neighboring body. Means three conditions we can take here. What are those two? The effects. The first one is if a system, first one is a system becomes cool, when it emits or transfer heat from it. When it will emit or transfer heat from it, when it have high temperature. Means what? If high temperature body is there, then only the heat can be transferred. So here, right from here now let us see. One system is there, that system is having high temperature. Then as it is having high temperature, then it can transfer heat. Once when it is transferring heat to the neighboring system, that system will become so cool. It's very clear. If any one body is losing heat from that body will become so cool. When that body can be just transfers heat once it is having high temperature. Did you get it? And now let's go with the next one. Vice versa. When this is first situation, now let us take, and in the second situation, and system, if a system gains heat, then what will happen? System gains heat, then that system becomes more warm, or that system becomes more hot also. Why the system becomes more warm? Then it is once the system is receiving energy, then what will happen? That vibrating particles will come and join that system, and so that system starts vibrating more and more, and so that system will become more heat or more warm. And here now we can say that this system is having less temperature. Did you understand that how it is? As it has less temperature, then only it can be capable to receive the heat, isn't it? Do you understand the concept? So if it is having, so what can we say that one? This is having less temperature when we comparing with then high temperature. Did you understand that? Here is two important concepts we can take. What are those two is? The first one is, if for example, now let us take, this is one system, this is another system. This system is having high temperature, this system is having low temperature, and so this system, once they are in the contact, the heat will transfer from this body to this body, this body to this body. Then what will happen? This system will become so cool, this system will become so warm. Is it okay? Right. In board exam, one question was asked, that is, then two persons are there. Now let us take those two persons. There is a place I will write here, and two persons are there, A and B. A gave shake hand to B. A is feeling very cool. A is feeling cool. Who is feeling cool? A is feeling cool. So the question was asked is, whose body have high temperature? Which body is having high temperature? Just pause it and think it once. Got it? Yes. Which body is having high temperature? Actually A. Why? Here is a see. Once if when the A body will become so cool, once the heat is transferring from that body, when the body will transfer, once when it is having a high temperature. So A is having the high temperature. A is a hot body, B is a cool body. Do you understand that? It's very important one. A little bit twisting also. Then here is then as the equation is very clear. A is feeling cool. When it will feel cool? when it is losing heat, when it will lose heat, when it has a high temperature. When it is having high temperature, we can say that is a hot body. Okay. So did you understand that? In this way, we can say that A is having a high temperature. One of the very important question for the point of view of the board, because many times in the board exam this question was asked. Still some more examples also we can take. And here let's come back to the situation. Why when we are touching that iron, we are feeling very cool? What's the reason we are feeling very cool? Yes, our body is having a lot of temperature, high temperature, and the heat is transferring from our body to the this iron. That is why we are feeling cool, because heat is transferring from hot body, that is ourself, from cool body, that is this one. This is iron box. I mean sorry, and this is a iron piece. So that is what we are taking about that. Okay, right? Understood this one. And so here the next one is, then what are the units of heat? Then generally the heat is, here is one more I will take, and the heat represents the letter of Q. The heat represents the letter of Q. Then what are the units of heat? The heat in the heat can be measured in the CBSE system. It's important. The CBSE system heat is measured in the calorie, and we can write this one as a calorie. And in the SI system, the heat measures in the joules. Measures in the joules. That also we can say joule. And there is a space. I will use this space, and because one definition also already said. And here is a, so the relation also, let us take this one. What is the relation between this? 1 calorie is equal to 4.186 joules. Approximately also we can take 4.2 joules. Very, very, very important. 1 calorie is equal to 1.4186 joules, or also we can take 4.2 joules. And afterwards, what's the definition for a calorie? The definition for calorie, many times it is asked. The amount of heat required to raise 1 gram of mass water by 1 degree Celsius. 1 degree Celsius temperature is called the calorie. So what is the definition? Again I will say the definition. See, the amount of heat required. What is required? The amount of heat required. For which one? For 1 gram of water. For 1 gram of water or 1 gram of substance, anything we can take. For 1 gram of water. For what purpose? To raise the temperature by 1 degree Celsius is called a calorie. The amount of heat required to raise the temperature by 1 degree Celsius of 1 gram mass of water is called as a calorie. So the definition we can write the calorie definition, and this is the very important one, the calorie definition. The amount of heat required. What is required? The amount of heat required to raise 1 gram of water by 1 degree Celsius is called calorie. Its definition is very simple. Two terms keep in mind. What are those? The amount of heat required. For which one? 1 gram of substance. It has to be raised. How much temperature? 1 degree Celsius. That is we are calling as a calorie. Okay, understood? That's all about the complete information about heat. Just last few minutes, then we will just summarize once what we have learned. The first one is heat. Heat is a form of energy that is transit in nature. Means that heat transfers from a hot body to the cold body. Heat represents the letter of Q. Then here heat will transfer from hot body to the cold body. Due to the kinetic energy of molecules of hot body, the heat will transfer from the hot body to the lower kinetic energy of molecules. So the heat will transfer. Here, what are the effects of the heat? If a system is losing heat, then that system will become cool. Means that system is having high temperature, which we are calling as a hot body. The second one is, if a system is gaining temperature, naturally the system's temperature increases, so that will become a hot body. And here that this how much heat will be transferred, these all things, and about temperature in the next session we will discuss. and continue to watching our channel. Okay, no? Study well.
Okay.